like, why?
It's
But-
impossible to like tell what's the best of the trilogy. I would personally say Force Awakens, but in terms of subjective enjoyment, I would definitely say I got a lot more enjoyment out of Rise of Skywalker.
Oh god, I
laughed
love
at Rise of Skywalker a lot more.
I know, I did as well. The reason why I say Force Awakens is because even though the film has a lot of problems and it fundamentally fucks the foundation, it kind of puts a lot of the problems off until the next film. It's like, we'll explain Rey's power later. We'll explain, her parents. We'll explain Kylo Ren. I know, we'll explain Snoke. We don't have any answers, but the next person will answer it.
Anyway,
so that means it becomes even more of a
we're not
trash fire when it comes to The Last Jedi.
We're not here to talk about Star Wars because I know the story or the conversation will eventually reference it, but we are here to talk about the Nolan trilogy of The Dark Knight, which is not too old. I mean, it's kind of fresh in some of our memories, but I remember watching the show. I remember watching the movies, Heath Ledger, etc., etc. So we all sort of enjoyed watching these, but we are aware many of the films are flawed, and I would say the third film was probably the most heavily flawed out of plot and believability and scenarios. So that's what we're here to talk about today, and this is going to be from, if you haven't noticed it, the Browntable. And I don't know anything about this guy. He seems like
why is the table brown? That's my question.
I was just about to ask that.
Did he shit on it?
He's
maybe
the guy who said that.
What is
All right.
Done?
He said what? Done? Done.
He called the Don the sexual harassment man.
What did
he did, didn't he? It's this guy.
Say what?
Yeah.
Sexual harassment.
Who?
Hello,
Browntable. He called
he touched his map and called it sexual harassment.
So, Smud, are you familiar with the EFAP meme of the Dawn?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, that's this guy.
I've been trying to talk for the last. And
hello,
apparently I had my mic muted.
Orange anime figure.
Well, hello there.
Orange Crush.
Hello.
There we go.
So,
am
I coming through?
He's the one who.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the one
cool.
who came to do the weird Wonder Woman thing where it was like him asking for a smile was considered sexual harassment, and that's the only thing I'm familiar with.
Captain Marvel, Dumbo.
Yeah. Wait, what did I say?
You said Wonder Woman.
Okay.
Oh my god, it's happening. I'm conflating the female heroines.
Okay, so essentially...
At least Gal Gadot has a good personality. Brie Larson has kind of gone nuts.
All right.
Gal Gadot is
nuts?
genuinely
She was
lovely. She is a very nice person.
Okay, but the idea was that in the film, touching someone's map is considered sexual harassment. That's what the Brownstable thinks? Right?
Yes.
Okay.
It was also
he
asking
touched
for
her
a
map,
smile.
and that constituted assault. But when he asked for a smile, that was sexual harassment.
It's the overhyping sensitive thing that kind of drove me nuts.
Similarly, I had high respects for Legal Eagle, as he's covered a lot of stuff. And it's like, okay, yeah, you seem informative. You seem like a cool guy. You know what? I'll give you a follow. And then not long after that was the whole Captain Marvel thing.
Okay, I was going to say that video was bad.
I'm going to have to unsubscribe. I'm sorry, I can't see you in the same way again.
Just watch Rikita Law covering him. He just rages the entire time.
Well, it's like
touch someone's map, and that means that you're assaulting someone.
That means
like, you don't even need to be knowledgeable. You don't even need to be knowledgeable about law to know that this really wouldn't hold up in a court of law.
No, the part that got me was where he was like, he defended the violence that she's like, I'm gonna, take your arm off and electrocute you in the extended scene, and he's like, yeah, that's perfectly justified for what he was doing because it was considered
anyone who touches my map
invading her bubble.
Anyone who touches my map in the street, I'm gonna go full Karate Kid on them. I'm gonna kick them. I'm then gonna break their arm. I'm gonna knock them in the face.
Yeah,
that's totally the appropriate response, right?
This is why Mahler consistently complains about how these videos reveal something really fundamentally disturbing about these people's lack of real morality or skewed moral views.
All right.
Oh, we need to defend something at all costs.
All right. So
even if it doesn't make any sense.
Aside from the Browntable's weird takes on other films, I think his content. I haven't seen his other content, but he seems reasonable, like a guy we could actually talk to. He's not going to start jumping into political platitudes or left-leaning politics or whatever. He's just like, guy, I think this. Yeah, it's pretty good. That's what I get from his channel. It seems pretty, he likes all kinds of things, video essays, animation, some original content with that. So he seems like a reasonable guy is what I'm trying to say. So
sure.
All right.
Let's see if that video holds that view up.
Okay, so let's talk about the video. This is number 168, Defending the Dark Knight Rises Better Than You Remember. All right, so this came out in August 2019. It has almost 350,000 views, and he's got all sorts of wonderful Skillshare links and links to his Discord, Patreon, subreddit, etc., etc. So
he's got a big channel.
He is a big dude. He knows his stuff. He plays around with the algorithm, I'm sure. And
he's a big table.
Big guy.
Big man.
He's a big guy.
He's a big brown table.
There you go. Okay.
All right. I don't like the way you said brown.
Well, how would you like me to say it? Would you like me to say it in Latin?
African American table.
I don't know. Maybe a Latino or Latinx isn't Latinx,
brown?
Right?
What is Latin? Okay, real quick. Somebody explain the Latinx thing.
Okay, so it's supposed to be a gender-neutral term for Latino or Latina, as Latino and Latina are like gendered racial terms.
That's the language. That's literally the language.
This is.
But
I like how you get
Latinx. You also can pronounce as Latinx, which sounds funny.
I remember that someone trolled these people as well by saying was it a more appropriate racial term for people from China is chinks.
Wait, what? That's not true.
It was all on Twitter. Keep in mind, it was all on Twitter, and the way they spelt it made it look like you don't really hear it that way when you see it. It just looks like a word. It's like okay, and then when you actually hear it, it's like, oh, it's chinks.
Funnily enough, that's actually also a Swiss racial term for Italians. Oh, dude, for Italians, chinks.
Wait, really?
Yeah, chinks, chinke.
Huh.
Well, the more you know.
I was about to. You stole my line.
But anyway, now you know why LiteratureDevil really hates the term Latinx, which is why I use it every single time I'm around him. Any time I can get away with it, I'm going to say Latinx. Just to get on his nerves.
I'm gonna say Latinx.
I cannot believe that's actually.
I really hate
this is old news. How are you only just hearing it now?
I saw it. It looked dumb, and I'm like, I'm not gonna get into this.
Probably because, like the rest of the world, he decides to actually have a life and not focus on the retardedness of the internet.
Okay, well, you're assuming a lot by thinking I have a life.
Well, I was trying to be generous, but okay.
Okay, Zach, you don't have a life. Or is that make you happy? Is that good? No.
I mean,
no.
Will you pay my rent? Like that'll make me happy.
Oh.
Oh my!
Well, I was going for the opposite of what you said, so I was hoping that would have worked, but I guess not. Anyway. Okay, let's get started. We got some super chats going, and we got a 17-minute video that'll take at least 3 hours. Depending on
Spud, you get this down to a perfect ratio.
Well, no, it's usually off by about half an hour, so I try to target it properly. But last time was just, oh my god, there were so many things that just kept jumping up every 2 seconds, so we had to keep pausing.
That's a Skywalker. There's too many of them. What are we supposed to do?
Anyway, Jake the Surgeon, hello and thank you. Unless fact? What's an unless fact? King Cobras. King cobras aren't cobras, but a close relative and the only species in its particular genus.
Is this a relation to something else, or is this just a random fact about?
No, they do this a lot. They just,
What?
I think it is a useless fact.
They just super chat stuff and expect me to read it to make sense of it. I just don't know what to do. I'm like, okay, that's a thing. Thank you. Joe Crazy.
King cobra is not considered to be a true cobra species.
Don't worry, Zach. It's okay. Joe Crazy. Nick Riccietta is greater than
Should be called Fake Cobra.
I know Nick Riccietta. He's cool on YouTube. Yeah, I like him. Haven't seen Legal Eel in a long time, so I'm sure he's still busy. But yeah, anyway.
I like him.
Yeah, Nick is cool. Jake the Surgeon, another useless fact. You spelled it right this time. The world's most venomous snake, the inland taipan, has no confirmed deaths. Really?
Huh.
What is a cobra? The first image I get when I Google cobra, by the way,
what is
cobra.
a cobra? What can we? What? It's all subjective. Can you really call a cobra a cobra?
Yes.
I mean, we invented the word, so it must be subjective.
Oh my god. You mean they don't exist? It's all in my head?
Wait. Cobra,
It's only
cobra,
a cobra
any
if you
various
perceive it as a
species
cobra.
Of highly venomous snakes, most of which expand the neck ribs to form a hood. While the hood is a characteristic of cobras, not all of them are closely related.
Ooh.
All right.
Is that like calling a big cat a panther because it has black skin or black fur?
That's racist.
I don't like the way you said
close
black.
enough.
It's like a generic term for the wild. There's an animal at me. It's a cat. It has black fur. Therefore, panther. It's like, yes.
I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, fun terminology for mammalian species, and I guess
The more you know.
yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Cold-blooded.
The world's
That's
largest
reptilian.
venomous snake is the king cobra. God damn it! Is it a cobra or not?
It isn't. But it's the largest venomous snake.
It's called
Venomous.
fake cobra.
Most venomous, not the largest. The one that has
No,
all the
largest-
powerful
this is what-
neurotoxins.
It literally
My
says
question
the
is,
largest
what is
venomous
a-
snake.
No. My question is, what is a Cobra Kai?
A school. Shut up.
It's a school to teach karate, Japanese.
No, but what's
finest.
Kai?
I don't know. In the world.
Have you ever seen like Dragon Ball Z Kai?
Oh, that guy.
No.
Oh, well, it's shit. Don't watch it.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we got
Well,
that
I've never
covered,
watched
guys.
Dragon Ball Z ever, so.
Glad we
Go watch Dragon Ball Z. It's good.
No.
Well, it's actually really bad, but it's amusing.
All right. Well, that's a wonderful endearment to something we may or may not watch. That's great. Okay.
Well, I'm ripping into JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but JoJo's is shit, by the way.
JoJo's hilarious.
Yeah, it is. But it's
Like
amazing.
JoJo is really, really bad. I think I like snapped out of the illusion when Caesar died. I'm just like, wow, this is that's
I only read the
cop out
mangas,
if I've ever
so-
seen it.
Just keep going.
Alrighty, so let's get started. We got again 17 minutes and a bit. So I'm assuming he's going to focus on the positives and sort of just not even mention the negatives, but that's typical. But we'll do our best to fill in the blanks.
Will. I've seen this video. He does.
This video is sponsored by Skillshare. Go to the link in the description to get started on a 2-month free trial. Trilogies.
Someday.
We all love them. There's something
Message
special
coming in.
about them. And it's always kind of fun to see if all 3 movies are going to end up great, if the series starts great and ends poorly, or if it starts poorly and ends great. I wanted to go back to the late 2000s, early 2010s, and revisit a trilogy I hold very dear to my heart, and that's the Dark Knight trilogy. The third film
got
in the
this weird
trilogy
old
is The Dark
film
Knight
filter.
Rises, and not enough people talk about this movie in my opinion. There's so much the movie does right, but internet discourse talks about it as if it's a mediocre mess.
Because it
Maybe
is.
because it is.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
So
it's
he's showing
pretty
the plane
bad.
scene right now. He's showing the plane scene right now. The plane scene doesn't make sense.
No.
Nothing about the plane scene makes sense. It's so
Message coming
fucking
in.
atrocious.
Patching it through.
And it makes me wonder why the fuck, like, how did Nolan...
But it looks cool. Shut up.
It doesn't look cool either.
Shut up. Don't think about it.
I know a lot
It's
of
a
it
plane,
Turn
was
off
and
your
there's a
brain.
bigger plane, and then the smaller plane gets ripped apart, and then there's Bane has some cool lines, and then he drops the plane.
Uh-huh.
I do know that a lot of that was done practically. That's not CG, which I think is actually legit impressive. But yeah, there's some like, Also, the thinking that somebody's blood put into somebody else will make them think he's dead.
When I saw that, I was like, wait a second, what?
Anything else?
Isn't it just
so
gonna mix the
confused.
blood? It's not. They say, hey, there's 2 people's DNA in this blood. Well, they're going to get inconfirmed results. Or there's going to be more blood of the original person than the donor.
Yeah, but
and then you've also got, I don't know, any other way of identifying someone.
I was so confused by that because I assumed it was like, did they get those guys that they killed? Did they get their blood from like a blood bank ahead of time or something? They drag them on the bags, and then that's why they were able to stop unrelated corpses. It was very
so weird.
If a body is mangled, you don't exactly go to immediate blood records if there are none. You'd have to have like dental records or something more concrete to fall back on. And especially if it's a big mass of blood, you wouldn't need to do like, oh, let me find the vein. No, let me find a pile of blood that was once this body, and I'll take a sample from that and do whatever tests I need to do. Yes, it would be nice if you had a vial, but you work with what you got. So,
what would have been the simple fix for that scene? Like, out of curiosity, like what would have been the easy way to make it so that they could just fake his death?
Not have it.
Not have it. Yeah. I would probably go with that.
I think the scene would need to exist.
I would
have
say
a clone of that guy.
You would need to transform the entire scene into anything else.
I think if there was a guy who was supposed to die and they rebuilt his teeth to be dental, like say that this is how we identify dead bodies. Dental records, fine.
That just fixes the blood bag. It doesn't fix the entire scene of the stupidity of the plane thing.
That thing always got me. Was this?
Wouldn't it be so fucking
was
weird
an
to find
agency plane just all of a sudden being overtaken by what looked like a C-130, and I was like, why doesn't that thing have escorts? Or
not to mention they don't see the plane coming at all.
Yeah, that.
Also, if you find parts of an agency plane like kilometers away from each other. That is also kind of weird. Like you first just find wings at the back, and you're like,
wait,
hold on a minute.
50 miles behind the actual crash itself. There's explosives on the back for some reason.
Yeah, so you'd have
to. There's also gunfire.
You have to fool the black box to explain how the engine died, and then the plane was still in the air for like 10 minutes. You're like, wait a second.
It's so bad.
Yeah, and stuff like this is really, like, I would imagine stuff like
really
this.
Bad.
I think when they take it over, that they would have to have. Maybe you can get away with the I don't know, dropping from a faster plane so like it takes the plane unawares by overcoming it, and then you just have the people dropping down, and then maybe they take over the plane and then have a more reasonable way of it crashing, and then I don't know, you remove the faking of the death stuff.
I mean,
but then you have to fix the motivations of the villain of why this fucking thing's happening in the first place.
Well, I guess the question is, did he really need to fake the death? Could he just kidnap him? I mean, I guess
he could have just kidnapped.
Yeah, that would have worked fine.
Faking the death it's just.
Does he even need the scientist in the end? I can't remember.
Yes, he does. He needs it to.
I think he does in order to
source into a nuclear bomb. Essentially, that's the purpose of Dr. Pavel.
Because any reactor can just be turned into a nuclear bomb with just a
also, weren't there other people who helped build it?
I'm not going to hold it to being hard science. I mean, it's whatever. It's a sustainable.
Oh, right. It's a fusion reactor, so it's like whatever. Fine.
Didn't also Lucius Fox know how it works?
I thought that Dr. Pavel was specifically one of the guys who like at least designed the principle or is a leading guy in this particular line of science.
He wrote a paper, so the movie explains it. He wrote a paper on how to actually weaponize it, and so the American government started to rely on him. So basically, how
that's
the line of how the line of that storyline is this thing gets created, Bruce Wayne announces it, advertises it, he's like, hey, there is going to be this renewable energy source, and then Dr. Pavel, this Russian scientist, is like, I can make a bomb out of this, and he writes a paper on it, and then Bruce scuttles the entire project, and says it doesn't work, and then basically keeps it under lock and key, because he was freaked out about someone turning it into a nuclear bomb, essentially.
But aren't there other people who built it?
What was that question? Sorry.
Aren't there other people who built it? I mean, also, didn't Lucius Fox kind of know how it works?
Yeah, no, they all knew. So Wayne Industries built it along with Miranda Tate's company. They funded it and created it. But the problem was Dr. Pavel is like made observations on it. And he's like, and just completely random scientists in Russia was like, yeah, I can turn it into a bomb. Easy. And then Bruce is like, "Oh no!"
You know what you do is you just click a button and it turns to a bomb.
No, wait, hold on. It gets worse. Why the fuck did Miranda Tate build an entire corporation, fund the creation of a nuclear fusion reactor, and then be like, okay, well, Russian scientists, now that you've luckily figured out how to turn this into a bomb, turn it into a bomb.
Wow, yeah, that's really
that actually
bad.
is a really good point. I never honestly thought about that particular part.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that's actually wow.
But that's the whole film.
It
Zach.
just seems as though like it just seems like it's typical like Christopher Nolan trying to be smarter than the material he's using.
Zach, don't you understand? Miranda Tate has the ultimate power. She has the power of the script. She stole it. That's how she knew it.
Oh my god!
She's just walking around. She's like, the part that always
needs that she made that decision.
Oh my god.
That was
the
another
MacGuffin of the movie is so broken.
Well, that's another thing. Is the whole Miranda Tate thing was just kind of like one of my friends pointed it out too. Like we enjoyed the movie. It was subjectively enjoyable for us. There was a lot of issues, but the whole like I am evil, vengeance, blah, bleh, dead. I was like, well, that was a sequence of events that took a place over 15 minutes.
Pointless.
It was kind of. There were so many questions of like, why did she just kill him in the mansion if she wanted vengeance? Why does it have to be this long, convoluted thing? I guess it's because she wanted Gotham to suffer, so he would suffer.
She's gonna die, so what's the point?
Did anyone else find it weird
that
Bane was excommunicated from the League of Shadows when the League of Shadows was also trying to destroy Gotham anyway? So it's like,
which is so
yeah. I was like, how
funny?
Yeah, because they were extreme too. They were gonna have everyone kill each other with fear gas. So why is that so much more? Why is that more morally acceptable than what a nuke?
Because you're destroying the infrastructure. You know how expensive that is?
Nuke's bad.
And basically, also another few issues with this movie. One is that The Dark Knight Rises is basically following the exact same structure as Batman Begins. Like, it's the same bad guys with the same really dumb plot, dumb bad guy plan as the first movie. I think it's possibly because, like, the death of Heath Ledger really threw things off, so they had to scramble. But the major problem with this movie is just the fact that, like, it's rushed, but it's also bloated and takes way too long for stuff.
This is true. Yeah. Okay. Let's keep going then, because we are going to be bloating ourselves if we keep talking about all the nitpicks throughout the story.
Yeah,
let's focus on the scene by scene. So, Jake the Surgeon, thanks again. Cobras belong to the genus Naja, while the king cobra is Ophiophagus or Phagus.
Stop! I just got off of there. I just closed that tab. Stop this!
Don't go back. You're fine. You're fine. Panthers are also a genus that include lions, tigers, jaguars, and leopards. Isn't that cool?
Sorry.
Shut up.
No, you shut up.
No, you shut up.
Always nice to have good zoology references for absolutely no reason. Thank you so much, Jake. 2Tim505. Just learned in Bumblebee, Peter was treated badly. Okay. Is that a movie?
Message coming in.
Is that your...
Yeah, Bumblebee's a film.
It's a film? Okay. So I'm like, what are you talking about?
I've never seen it.
Who's Peter?
I've heard good things, but I lost interest in Transformers a long time ago.
Patching it through. Okay.
Never saw it, too.
Don't worry.
Michael Bay is a masterpiece director. I don't know what you're
Bumblebee isn't by Michael Bay. It's a soft reboot prequel trying to reboot Transformers, going away from Michael Bay's Transformers.
And it weirdly didn't make that much money. Possibly because the guy directing it is the director of Laika, is the head of Laika.
I think it didn't make money because, like, Transformers has possibly buried itself deep into the ground and no one really wants to give it a chance anymore.
Oh, Shiny, you're being too nice. It's clearly buried in crap.
Okay.
It's buried itself.
Pretty good
it's buried
things
itself in
to
crap,
the
not
Netflix.
the ground. It's buried in... not in the ground, it's buried in crap.
It just shat all over itself so much, the shit has just piled up.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. We don't do much reading.
Okay. Alex Halo, thank you. JoJo is fun. Also, hating JoJo is a JoJo reference. Really? That's
What?
That's a little strange.
That doesn't make sense.
Are we talking about the anime or like Jojo Rabbit or what's going on? Like, what are we talking about? I think it's the anime.
Okay, Jojo Rabbit's good. I will defend Jojo Rabbit as a good movie.
You don't like JoJo?
You're a good movie.
I don't know. You got to really love the 80s, like a lot.
Rurouni Kenshin.
Ready Player One.
What about Rurouni Kenshin?
Rurouni Kenshin's good.
That's like old school anime. I guess that's okay.
Rurouni Kenshin was pretty fun anime.
Yeah, it's cool.
Very fun anime. It's a romance like at its core, and then it has like some really good action layered on top of it.
It's kind of
isn't that with the samurai that has a reverse katana?
Yeah.
The front is blunt. Okay,
Yeah,
I've only read the manga.
He was but Tosai the Manslayer, correct?
There's lots of animes that have the romantic comedy aspect, and then near the end of its run, it goes all dramatic, serious. And Rurouni Kenshin is one of those. So
its predecessor was more consistent in tone, which I think was Samurai. It was like ex-Samurai or something like that, which explains how he became like the Manslayer and stuff. It's actually really freaking dark. It's like a 4-episode.
Yeah, he's got a dark story.
Oh my god,
the manga is pretty alright.
I loved the show. The show it ends very, very differently than the manga. I enjoyed the manga though. I actually, let's see, back in the Toonami days, is when I started watching Rurouni Kenshin, and I had never gotten to see the ending because they canceled Rurouni Kenshin before it finished. So like I remember the last episode that I watched was Shishio just exploding the fuck out of Kenshin. And he's just like laying there dead on the ground, and then the episode ends, and then I never saw another episode.
Well, you're lucky you got it on Toonami.
Never watch it. Samurai X.
I think it was like 15 years later, I finally got to read the manga. And like enjoyed it, but it was weird, like towards the end.
Most manga are.
Yeah, like Kenshin's like old friend or his brother or something, or sorry, the brother of his dead ex-wife is like looking for revenge, and he has this weird technique that can make him super strong and impervious to pain.
Say what?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. it gets crazy.
Very weird.
Yeah, well, Kenshin is a gigantic series, so I'm not going to start rambling on. Unless you guys want to have an anime stream one day, we can go crazy. But yeah, we'll just keep on going, okay? All right. Taker 610.
All right, Dark Knight.
Smud, I'm in charge. Guests, do you feel in charge? Yeah, well, no.
I don't feel anything in my life, though, so it's...
Yeah, well...
It's par for the course.
I don't know that. That's the one thing I hated about... Even when I was enjoying watching The Dark Knight Rises, was I could barely hear Bane speak.
So a lot of my friends,
it's become a big meme, but honestly, their version of Bane is just a pile of shit. It's nothing like Bane. It is not Bane. Hashtag not my Bane.
Oh.
Yeah, it's definitely not Bane. Yeah.
Nolan's Bane doesn't look like Bane at all.
Yeah, there's also like lots
even
of
like
problems.
lore-wise, this is a completely different character to Bane.
Yeah, I honestly think that like I don't really care about like comics adaptation. Like the Bane in the comics is kind of just a simple bruiser.
I would say the adaptation argument though is if you're literally not even going to try to make it the character, and this is pretty much a new character, just make a new character.
Well, okay, the idea behind Nolan's universe for Batman was to make it realistic. believable as much as possible if these characters were to exist.
Yes, spinal injuries being fixed by punching the fucker in the spine as hard as you can.
Oh no, we'll get there. We'll get there, Zach. We'll get there. Don't worry, it's okay. All right. So yeah, no, I think the Nolan trilogy is based trying to make Batman as believable and real as possible. Like the starting of the first film, it's all about I can't turn my head. I need to be able to maneuver properly. That was kind of a nod to all the other Batman films, which had the spandex or what was it, the rubber bodysuit that was fixed in place.
Yeah, they couldn't even move the head.
Yeah, so I like the fact that they paid attention to the concept.
They couldn't move his head.
Exactly. So I like that detail. So they tried to make it believable. It just fell apart at the third film, I think. But we'll get to the details as we see them.
At least like the Batman in that film, and Joker, and all the other characters which they adapt. Unless there's any which you want to bring up right now. I think that they are the characters. They're just an adaptation of them because there's still traits and elements of the character which remain from the adaptation. But nothing remains of Bane, which means he's not Bane, which means you can literally call him anything else because he's pretty much an entirely different character.
His name is Smeef now.
I think partially because there's nothing to Bane. There's nothing to Bane other than Venom. That is the only thing.
Oh, and he's like a luchador.
He's not a luchador.
If I remember correctly, he was a kid raised in a prison. He had this pretty harrowing backstory. His mother was put there, correct? And that's all I know about him, and I know that he has Venom. So I guess my question is, what are the character traits of Bane that would have needed to be adapted to make this Bane like a
literally any?
Well, then what
pick a trait.
He has a mask.
Okay,
he has a mask that seems to help him breathe or something.
Yeah, but in all past and prior adaptations of Bane, he didn't have a mask.
Yeah, well, they took
and
the
now
ideas,
every adaptation after Bane is now always going to have that mask.
They took the ideas from the Nightfall series of comics, which
I've seen Bane in a bunch of other comics. I've seen Bane in a bunch of other like DC things. He doesn't have that type of like the fang. The tubes as fangs mask. It's mostly the original.
Right. So
Shane, when you talk about being a faithful adaptation, though, I mean the comics themselves.
Well, no, I'm saying to be any kind of adaptation. So not talking about faithful adaptation, because obviously, and the reason why when you talk about adaptations, I say that doesn't come into the writing. But really, if you're going to be adapting something, there has to be something which you are, okay. Take more than the name. Literally fucking anything. I will. If he had Venom, if you.
All right. Again, I want to explain the story it's coming from. Okay, because in that story, Bane breaks Batman's back. Batman has to recuperate for a while. While that's happening, Jean-Paul Valley is the guy in charge of the Batsuit or the souped-up Batsuit, and he's killing people. And Batman has to go through his entire recovery period and find this psychic doctor, and they have to have this psychic. It's kind of stupid. There's just two doctors or two psychic people. They fight each other, and she goes into a mental asylum. And he's still not Batman. He has to fight. He has to learn to fight again. So he teams up with Lady Shiva, and Lady Shiva's like, in order for you to pass my tests, you have to kill someone. So there's all these other things going on just for Batman to become Batman. And to make that realistic, you can't have psychic doctors running around. You can't have a roided up Venom juiced superhero breaking people's back and doing crazy shit. So you have to adapt it in a certain way that is believable. And the problem is they only do it in concept. They don't do it in execution. Like the stuff with Bane not being part of the League of Shadows. Why is he doing this? Because he loves Talia or something. This is all one giant plot from Talia, and she doesn't say she's Talia until the end. It's like, why are you, like, you slept with Bruce all this time and played along, and just to get the potential for a nuclear bomb out of whatever tech they were built. Like, there's all these contrivances, and that's the problem. I think the adaptation would have worked fine if everything else was not a problem. We would say, okay, he's just a crazy, weird Englishman with a breathing apparatus, which we've never seen before. Maybe there's some chemical he needs, like, I don't know. Pick one. So you can do goofy stuff. It just has to be believable to a degree.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I guess my
message coming in.
Yes, what
patching it through.
But yeah.
Okay, let's keep going. Mr. X. The opening scenes gave us Bane posting 10 out of 10. Bane posting.
The memes with both.
For you.
Okay.
It would be extremely painful. You seem like a big guy. For you.
Yes.
I actually like that line. It's actually really funny.
Yeah. Well,
I like that. Do you feel in charge one? Puts a hand on the face. It's like, ooh.
I like the parody. This is your body without fiber.
Do you feel it?
It's warm in the darkness.
Anyway, 210-505.
Out of the darkness.
Peter Cullen, voice of Prime.
I did not see the lights until I was already there.
Okay, guys, I'm trying to read a super chat. Stop it. Peter Cullen, voice.
Oh, we're gonna get copyrighted. Sorry.
Voice of Prime. What the hell is Prime? Oh, Transformers. Was only called in for one day to record because they didn't want to pay him. What?
No, Transformers Prime. The Optimus Prime. He's talking about the Bumblebee film.
No.
Wait. Isn't that the same thing?
He can't have only been in for one day for Transformers Prime. That's impossible.
Yeah, they were reshoots, but maybe the reshoots were the only thing he came in for. No, he's not talking about the animated TV show. He's talking about Bumblebee.
Yeah.
The animated robot in that one CGI movie.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that totally makes sense. Yeah, that makes more sense now. I was thinking Prime. I was like,
where did you get Prime from? He says, okay, the
Transformers.
The super chat.
He forgot to renew his Amazon Prime.
Look, okay. All it says is Peter Cullen, the voice of Prime, Optimus Prime, was only called in to record one day for one day because they didn't want to pay him. And it's talking about, the context was talking about Bumblebee. At never point does he mention Transformers Prime. Only Prime in terms of the character.
Prime, and that threw me off. Someone mentioned Transformers Prime, and that threw me off.
No. He said Prime in terms of Optimus Prime.
Well,
does he not mean Prime?
Said Transformers.
Yes, but
oh, fuck this.
Wait a second. We're talking about the same thing, right? The same character, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we're talking about the same.
Okay,
character,
we're good. We're good.
Different TV series.
Oh, I'm sure there's all kinds
movie.
of voice actors, but I don't care. I just don't. I thought Amazon Prime. What the hell does Peter Cullen have anything to do with Amazon Prime? I don't know.
What does this have to do?
He does great deliveries.
Okay.
See, Optimus Prime's the truck, and he's now branded Amazon Prime. So that means he's now going to make sure all your deliveries come next day.
See, I like
this is why when the guy kind of freaked out about you guys on Twitter covering the I can't remember what video.
I don't fucking care what he says. He can suck a dick.
Well, I was gonna say the reason why is like I doubt it was 4 hours talking about the video. I'm pretty sure it was 4 hours, probably 3 hours talking about nonsense unrelated to it, and maybe an hour talking about the video.
Well, it's 3 hour long stream, and one of those hours was definitely spent talking about those white chocolate oranges.
Yes, we're gonna stop it. We're not talking about that shit. Okay.
let's keep going.
Dear God.
Let's keep going.
Joe Crazy. Love Roni Kenshin is great. Okay, everyone does. Although the author did get fined for not getting rid of his CP from before it became illegal in Japan. Okay, can we stop getting derided? Oh my God. All the topics to
I like these super chats. Remember me, there's the Kingdom Hearts super chats.
Oh no.
I have to pull up chat because I gotta see what's going on.
All right, let's please get back to the video. Okay.
Not, and I can prove it. The most important elements of the movie have to do with its writing, its themes. Now, before we get started on the video, I wanted to let you all know that.
Oh my God! I forgot my my bingo card. I'm so sorry.
It's been a while since we've heard the themes, as in that fix problems in a film. It's like, yeah, you can do anything. You can contradict yourself as long as you have themes.
I'd be curious to hear what themes The Dark Knight Rises has.
It has a theme of redemption. It has a theme of being reborn. It has a theme of being a cripple. It has a theme of backs breaking.
It's a theme of being a cripple. Is this going to turn into the Office episode?
A lot of people have claimed. A lot of strange people have claimed that it's like a weird retelling of A Tale of Two Cities because of the poor versus rich mentality that has it.
Oh yeah,
it has.
All right, I got my card ready. We're good to go. Let's go.
I don't.
Your what?
He's got a bingo
card.
Oh,
where's the bingo card?
Yeah.
Wait, there's bingo cards now? What?
Oh yeah.
Where's my bingo card?
There's bingo cards now.
Anyway,
let's keep going.
If you are interested in becoming a writer or filmmaker, there's one place that you have to check out, and that's Skillshare. Skillshare? That's right. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes covering dozens of print, film, and video. You name it. You want to make your movies look like Christopher during this video, and right, go to the link in the description.
Okay, just a bit of advice. You're probably a lot better going off to, I don't know, learn from literally anyone else other than Skillshare.
What is Skillshare exactly? I didn't catch it.
Well, I'm really glad you asked.
Today's sponsor of the show is Skillshare. Skillshare is a skill-sharing website where anybody can teach you how to do anything. Do you want to learn how to cook crystal meth, gamer?
Yeah,
it's a lot of After Effects tutorials. A lot of them are quite low level, so it's not always the best place to learn things. There are 1,000,000,001 better places to learn certain things. I mean, it's good if you're like a small-time YouTuber learning about cinematography because you can, you don't want to go to a place that's more expensive to learn that. But if you're becoming somewhere like a director or you want to become a writer, you're probably better off, I don't know, going into education or, learning from professionals.
Okay. Thank you, Shiny.
Just ask Shiny.
Or watch
Stabbing your
dick. If you want to be a writer,
guys, we don't need a summary.
If you want to teach me all these things, teach me, senpai.
The thing is, if you want to learn about writing, don't go to Skillshare. You have to pay. Go to Brandon Sanderson's YouTube channel. It's free, and it's got much better informational quality because he's an actual published author who has had a lot of success. And
there you go. Okay, go to Brandon Sanderson's YouTube channel. Let's please keep going.
Ads with 2 months of Skillshare.
The Batman saga took in $75.6 million in its second weekend in theaters.
The performance of a fallen star reached an all-out crescendo.
I hate
We can't talk about The Dark Knight Rises without talking about The Dark Knight first, which is a quintessential superhero film that strives to be more than just that.
So I hate those beginning of the arguments. People tend to do that a lot. It's like, but it performed really well in the box offices and everything, and I'm like, does that mean?
No. I think he's talking about the previous film.
He's referring to Dark Knight.
He's going to say
he's going to talk about hype culture.
Yeah, he's going to say the expectations of the film were too high, which means that's the reason why everyone thinks it's shit.
Okay, well, I apologize then. Sorry, Browntable, I jumped the gun.
Yeah.
My bad. I will go sit in my corner.
Yes, but that is also a fallacy.
It's the difference between an Ant-Man 2 and a...
It's like we're pointing out all the problems in the film, and he's like, but you were just having too high expectations. No, I was having the appropriate expectations.
What is this shot?
On almost any film.
What is going on here?
Is this the thing where he steals from the building and he has a balloon?
Like the actual... Like, these are... There's Nolan right there, and there's Christians. I'm like, what the... Like, holy jeez.
Well, you see, he's going to apply some face cream.
Oh.
And then he's going to put that cream on the pavement when he face plants.
I was referencing... never mind.
I'm sorry, I don't get your references, Shiny.
It's American Psycho. I was not a believer until LiteratureDevil showed me American Psycho, and now I believe.
Oh God, is that the Christian Bale, him just going nuts for 2 hours or something?
Pretty much, yeah. That's a good way to describe it.
Actually, it's only an hour and a half, which is interesting. Like, it's really short, like all things considered.
Oh.
Spider-Man 2, one strives to be more than what it's usually labeled. The Dark Knight showcases an interpretation of the Batman and Joker in a riveting crime drama that is one of my favorite films of all time. And you can personally dislike the film, but you can't refute that the movie had major cultural impact. And also the movie's great and you're wrong. But being such a massive success and changing the landscape of superhero films for a while, The Dark Knight Rises had to compete with that. Batman had to compete with Batman, and to do that is near impossible as one movie had one of the greatest performances in a superhero film ever.
Okay, that's fine. You can have a sequel to a film which was really good if you understand why it was good, and then you just one-up it. You do better special effects, you do better storytelling, better character, better characterization, better this or that. There's so many ways to focus a story to make it just as good, or if not better, in a different light. And you can't, so to the point where you can't compare and say, well, 2 is not necessarily better than 3, it had more of this or more of that, but it still had a solid story, and I could follow it, and I was entertained.
The thing is, this is going from the view that movies are completely subjective and that you're just being biased because, you were just expecting something better. And it's like, stop trying to invalidate what people say about terrible writing. It's like, okay, terrible writing, this, that plot hole, this contradiction. This makes no sense in a narrative story.
Right. The inverse,
you fucked up the motivations for your villain. This scene doesn't make any sense.
Right.
That also doesn't make sense over there. And then someone says, well, your expectations are just too high.
Right.
So I'm not wrong. It's shit. You're just telling me I had high expectations.
That's exactly...
How low should my expectations be then, really?
That's kind of exactly the argumentation that's been brought up to me. Anytime I have any kind of issues with Cyberpunk and I bring them up, they're like, well, your expectations were really high. And I was like, I had no expectations for this game. I got this as a gift. Someone's like, hey, do you want to play this? I was like, yeah, sure, I'll give it a shot. And I was like, wow, this is glitchy and it has some problems.
Well,
and the first thing that comes up is expectations. The second part is, bugs will get fixed and patched out. But yeah, that whole... your expectations were too high. It's like, yeah, I expected something to be good for $60.
It's the same argument for whether expectations are high or low. Even if the second film was bad, it's like, well, it's going to get better from here. It's like, how do you know that? What do you mean? How can you expect that? So when you look at the Star Wars trilogy, Episode 8, you're like, oh my God, this thing's broken. It can only get better from here. It's like, no, it's got to work off.
They heard that wrong.
Yeah, it's got to work off the second film. So it's the same with Batman. Even if Heath Ledger wasn't in the film, it would still be a pretty decent film to watch because the story made reasonable sense. It wasn't too crazy. There weren't too many holes, but you could follow it and say, okay, we know what's going on. Characters' motivations are the same. So Heath Ledger just added that extra layer of quality that we weren't expecting. Because I remember a lot of people were blasting Heath Ledger. Oh my God, he's going to suck. He has no idea what he's doing. He doesn't have the face for...
he doesn't have the Jack Nicholson voice.
He doesn't have... Well, whatever they were saying. It was just like over the top, like crazy. I have no care because I didn't care about the Nolan version of Batman. I was like, yeah, whatever, it's fine. And then we watch it and they're like, oh, this is pretty good. This is cool. So people had their minds changed just over performance as opposed to story, which is interesting.
I think... Yeah. That we can all agree that this is a really stupid argument to make, and it is just trying to dismiss legitimate criticism.
Yeah. So we can just kind of let it play for a while.
Yeah, let's go.
We can just kind of let it play.
So, of course, almost unsurprisingly, the reception to The Dark Knight Rises was not as good as the reception to The Dark Knight.
No.
And because of not being as good, people brush it off. If The Dark Knight Rises did not come after The Dark Knight, I feel like viewers would treat the film differently. But just because the film isn't as good as The Dark Knight doesn't mean we should brush it aside as an inferior sequel. While The Dark Knight was a crime drama, The Dark Knight Rises is essentially a war movie with some post-apocalyptic undertones.
What?
Oh, wow.
Should we call it a war movie?
All right, so if somebody says the words war movie, Shiny, what movie do you think of?
Saving Private Ryan. I don't know.
There we go. That's the answer I was looking for. Saving Private Ryan.
Or
this
Dunkirk.
Is not...
Or
Dunkirk.
Or 1917.
Yeah, 1917, Black Hawk Down, Dunkirk. What would be another? What are some other
technically
Band Brothers?
Survivor,
Two Towers, Two Towers, Two Towers, and Return of the King.
Anything with war. It doesn't have to be modern military or world war. Anything.
I think classifying something as a war movie, I think that they're technically true if you have a war in it. I think there's a lot of things which you just need more of, like the way you focus on the war to make it a war movie.
So
specifically.
a war movie focuses on usually two things I've noticed. It focuses on the actual dispute between two large, massive forces, using your troops as a POV, or it's kind of like a drama talking about like the horrors of war for those troops and everything. It shows. So like the Band of Brothers miniseries and everything. Like that's. It's a miniseries, but it's a war miniseries. There's none of that in The Dark Knight Rises, so I don't know what he's talking about.
But anyway, Batman is a war movie, and this apparently is a good idea. And it's also post-apocalyptic, and it's also fucking your mum.
So police forces are not military forces, okay?
The police is fighting the criminals.
Oh god, the police thing is so fucking stupid. Is he going to bring that up?
Street.
All the police just march. Every police unit in the city march into the underground.
I love the fact that they just charge down like it's like the battle before the gates of Mordor,
and they're just lucky enough that that they still get fed.
Oh yeah,
they don't let them starve to death.
The hostage that Bane puts around Gotham, like he breaks all the bridges. Apparently, garbage collection is working, water is working, energy, all other infrastructures. But it's 5 months or so. It's like we're fine. Everyone's cool.
We gotta Zach and take a 610.
Okay.
I want to hear what Zach was asking me.
I was asking you to say Bob's your uncle.
Bob's your uncle.
You're British.
Okay. Taker 610. That's a joke there. Bane killed.
Fuckwit.
Yeah, Shiny versus Virgin Zach Reeds.
So you can't just ask
Americans
people to say
shit
things.
Accents. Change my mind.
What?
Super chat.
Yeah, Bane killed Krennic. How did he appear in Rogue One? Oh, that's funny. Ha ha ha.
Continuity error. There you go.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, it's funny. I applauded it for being different. It broke new ground.
What are you quoting?
Red Letter Media, I think.
Really?
The review of Rogue One.
What new ground did it break?
Wasn't about Jedi and Sith.
Okay.
Even though the best part of the film was
Star Wars war film.
That's not Star Wars.
Yeah.
I guess that.
It wasn't just a remake of A New Hope. It wasn't just a remake of A New Hope.
It led into A New Hope.
I find it so boring. So boring.
They didn't like it.
Okay, there was only one good character in that film, K2SO.
Yes.
That is it.
Yeah, only the robot.
They're mostly taking the piss. Cool. They're mostly taking the piss out of it, and they say that this movie's really bad. This movie's really bad.
Rogue One really in general.
Characterization.
Rogue One just has no character development at all.
It has any characters are good except for the droid.
And we're back in Star Wars.
Let's keep going. Let's get back
all roads leads to Star Wars.
Oh god.
There you go.
They are when Shiney's in the
most
call.
of the time he is struggling to return to the hero he once was. The movie's a near 3-hour-long epic which takes its time. It builds up momentum little by little, showing glimpses of what the antagonist and his cohorts are planning by separating these stories until they all eventually coincide when Gotham falls under terrorist attack. But at its core, it's a character study. It's about a broken man who welcomes death because he has nothing left to lose. The film blends everything Nolan's good at, from characters to grand set pieces to a plot with a bit of a twist, and whether or not he executed this smoothly is up to you. I'm just here to inform you that the movie...
If we can actually
he's trying to prove to us that it's good. So...
Yeah.
He's trying to say, hey, the film is good, but if it's good, it's up to you.
Thank you. I'm gonna try to convince you that it's good. What a retarded fucking statement.
If we can prove that it's not good and it doesn't make sense,
a useless argument.
It's just subjective. It's just up to you, apparently.
What a retarded fucking idea.
If you like or not, it's up to you. Even though I have all this evidence backing me up that it's a bad movie.
Yeah, we should probably have a subjective square on the bingo card to just everything is subjective or something like that. It would make us like, oh, here we go. It's good like because you have to think it's so. Like what?
Like all narrative is subjective, and inciting incidents are subjective.
Oh my god.
He is an IRL go burn in hell.
So when you defend something, you have to prove something. You don't just say, if you think it's defensible, it is. You're like, what?
Okay, so let me explain this to you, Browntable. So the plot is like a spine, and you see it's broken, like Batman's. This is a little bit different, because this spine is not just broken, it's completely smashed. It is like someone has
at the beginning of the film
completely pulverized it into bone marrow, which they're then going to plant on some Minecraft saplings to grow a tree.
Can you use human bones in a soup?
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Alex Jones somehow made a bone broth, so maybe.
All right. Well,
I don't know why you'd want to do that, but
B is a lot than what everyone's been saying.
How does that break his back?
You don't owe these people anymore. You've given them everything.
I don't know. How does punching him in the spine fix it?
Not yet.
Fucking magic.
Close your fucking mouth.
All right, so she's still
alive.
alive.
Over there.
Okay, yeah, right.
How is she over there?
So the driver is
over there by the wheel.
Yeah, the driver's disappeared.
Driver's flung.
I think the driver was thrown out. I think you see.
No, the driver just put through the ground, glitch style. You know.
No, I think you do see a body. I remember seeing the body a second ago.
Well, didn't she push it or something? I thought I could be wrong.
So, there you see the driver fall out.
Right.
There
okay, he fell out. He fell out of the. Why did he fall out though? I don't understand that, but he did.
Reasons. And he wasn't wearing a seatbelt because he's a villain, and they don't believe in upholding law and order. That's why.
So he falls out of the car.
That's why the villains are going to lose, because they don't obey rules and they don't wear their seatbelt. Wear your seatbelts, kids.
And yet she's in there and is not wearing a seatbelt. Isn't wearing a seatbelt.
She got jostled to the other seat, and she's just like waiting to die, I guess. Well, she has exposition to share. It's a very long death scene.
Stop nitpicking, Smud. Oh, you're just such a fucking...
Yeah, this isn't a plot hole. This is a nitpick.
Yeah.
Stop nitpicking.
Anyway, that's all I wanted to share. There's all kinds of other stupid scenes in the movie, but these scenes happen a lot at the end part of the last half, and it's just annoying because your brain goes. What?
Have you guys done this for Smud movie night by any chance?
No.
This movie?
No. We could.
Yeah, why not?
I'd honestly like to watch Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas on stream with Smudcast, since that's actually a possibility. You don't even need to edit or anything. You can just watch it for free on YouTube. God.
I don't know.
No. Thanks.
I watched it. It's not that bad. It's really funny.
How long is it?
An hour and 20 minutes, including credits.
Long, too much long.
That's long. Anyway,
it's shorter than Terminator. It's shorter than Terminator. Or any of those movies. So
yeah. Well, when we go back to movie night, we might
just
consider
watch it on the street.
Yeah. Anyway, let's keep going with the super chats. Yeah. Rin Wesley, thank you. Every time I hear these guys call plot holes nitpicking, I think of Annie Wilkes from Misery screaming, "He didn't get out of the cockadoodie car." When is it acceptable to have a plot hole? That's the problem. They will forgive plot holes because they consider it irrelevant to the actual impact of the scene, which is emotional or dramatic or philosophical or whatever idea they care about.
Imagine if you have, I don't know, a nuclear explosion and you have this. I don't know that the father to the antagonist. They're right in the middle of the nuclear blast. It doesn't make sense that they survive and they're completely fine because it gives a nice emotional send off when he dies from radiation poisoning and not being completely disintegrated.
So it's okay to like I said earlier, it's okay. It's okay to even be like, yeah, that's a plot hole. It doesn't bug me that much, though. I can still enjoy the movie. That's perfectly fine. But when you're so many of them, and then you are trying to reconcile them out of the way just so you can justify your enjoyment,
you're cutting out again, so it's becoming more difficult to understand what you're saying because we're hearing parts of it and then not other parts.
Blame Hawk. Always blame Hawk.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I heard part of it, and then all of a sudden I heard accepting plot holes.
I can hear you just fine, Shiny. So I know that you heard part of it. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Continue.
Well, I think I'm exhausted from this video. There's not much else to pick apart.
Yeah.
It was just a gushing.
Yeah.
Oh, I like this thing. It has stuff in it, and stuff happens. And there are other things that are bad, but that's okay. Every film has those.
So isn't most of Browntable like that?
Sorry? Didn't hear you.
Never mind.
Couldn't hear you.
Never mind.
Okay. Forget about it.
I throw in the towel. I don't know what's up with that.
All right. Okay. Well, anyway, that was not so bad. 2 hours and a half of The Dark Knight Rises, better than you remember. It was an entertaining movie if you turn your brain off. This is true, but that's true for many, many films. So.
It's not true. I don't think it's even true for Last Jedi because Last Jedi doesn't even have any cool
The
action
Rise
to
of
it.
Skywalker.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Well,
Anyway.
some people manage to enjoy those films somehow.
Yeah.
More
Anyway,
people
I'm going to
did
go.
not, which is at least, especially with Rise of Skywalker.
I'm going to rewatch that comment he made and leave it on his video just to tell him how crazy that is. So thanks for everyone for watching and listening and
bother?
having a wonderful cast of
It
people.
just raises his comment.
Well,
It just raises his algorithm.
Just let them know what's going on. It's always nice to inform the public.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks for your suggestions. That wasn't so bad. It was kind of weird, kind of crazy, but not as crazy. I mean, I only have one thing locked onto my bingo card, which is the dreaded T word, and that's it. But so not as bad as other reviewers, which is fun. No political message, no overtly crazy socialist or left-leaning ideology.
Got a pretty low bar.
We're going to look into The Dark Knight and how Batman is a communist.
Oh.
Just a bad review.
Yeah. Just a bad
Full of
review, pretty much.
nothing, really.
Yeah.
It's
So
full of
keep
nothing,
your
really.
keep your suggestions coming. I do appreciate that in the suggestions channel, as well as keep voting in the next voting tonight or tomorrow. I'll clean out the was it 4 or 5? I can't recall, but I'll mention it in the Smudcast voting talk, and we'll see you guys real soon. Hopefully tomorrow. Have a great night.